All right, let's try this again. What is up, Internet? I am Taylor. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, or welcome to whatever the heck. It's September 8th, or it is when I'm recording this. It's New Comic Book Day, and this is my second try recording this stupid video because the first time around my mic didn't record sound, or I don't know, laptop sound stuff, issues, technical. So this version is going to be twice as crappy. Let's get into it. Oh, speaking of crappy, I start with the bad books, I go to the good. And I go from there. All right. Starting, my least favorite book of the week. I'll phrase it that way. It sounds a little nicer, right? Kazar, however you pronounce it. I don't care, because I'm not going to get issue number 2. Lord of the Savage Land by Zach Thompson and Hermaine Garcia. I don't know. It's a bizarre book. I mean, it's just weird. Zach Thompson writes, when he's writing his own stuff, he writes really strange books. And this is a really strange superhero book. And not in a... I don't have a problem with superhero books being strange. I think strange can be good. I think strange is necessary. I think you need to inject fresh blood into the superhero genre. This didn't really do that. It's just kind of a weirdly told, typical story. Kazar's new powers... Kinda. They're kind of like the Altered Beast, or I don't know, whatever. It's not super clear. And a kid, and a wife, and Savage Land, and... Other than that, nothing really happens. I mean, it's a 22 pages of like, well, that's it. So, that's it for me talking about it. Infinite Frontier number 6. This is the end of this one. I thought last one was the end. I really did. I thought issue 5 was the end. I thought it'd be a better ending. It was a cliffhanger ending where it's setting up a big bad guy, and then this kind of explains the big bad guy and kind of whimpers its way to the finish line, setting up the next big crisis on internet multiverses, or multi-crisis on multi... I don't care. There's a lot of characters in here that I know nothing about, and they're not really well introduced, and they're not really well explained. They don't need to be. You can sometimes have mystery, and mystery is good in comics. But the way they do it in here, Williamson, it's like, okay, I don't know, who the hell's Psycho Pirate? Who the hell's this Bones guy? Who's this Chance person? I don't know. I vaguely know who Roy Harper is. And like, you don't need to necessarily to know whoever characters, again, to enjoy a good story. But when you're telling a story that's reliant on back details of characters, and like their motivations are reliant on things past, you might want to give some folks some hint as to what's going on. Just maybe an idea. This is for those people that have followed along with all of DC's shenanigans for the past 25 years, and I'm not one of those people. I'm back to DC fairly newly, or back for the very first time. It's not how any song goes, is it? No, it's not. And I don't know. I'm kind of lost, kind of don't care, kind of whatever. And I liked Williamson's writing normally, but I just was like, this one I'm like, whatever. Ordinary Gods, this is my last issue of the series. Not the last issue, but it's my last issue. Kyle Higgins, he is hit or miss for me, and this is a miss issue. And this issue... he also likes to pull the rug out from under you and like, oh, no, everything you thought you knew, or you thought was the direction you thought you were going is completely different. And that's fine. It's fun. Sometimes. And then it just sort of depends on which way you get pulled by the rug. I don't know, whatever. It's a shit metaphor. But, I just the quote unquote reveal in this one is not very interesting. The art's not very good and like the story itself, I'm just like, I don't care. I just don't care anymore. And so I'm done. It's an ordinary-ish comic. Speaking of ordinary-ish, and I just don't care. Batman under 112. I will be glad to see Tiny Onion off this book. I really will. Jorge Jimenez's art is fantastic and great and like detailed, and like he makes a creepy scarecrow. But and like, you know, Tynion's been like building up all these chess pieces and putting them into play and creating them and making new ones every week and every month, and now they're all going to come together for this big grand event that's really boring. Really boring. Really boring. It's a boring issue. I'm going to try... This video's going to be fast because I'm... Yeah. Back Manta number 1. I like the idea of having a villain as a character, as the main character of a book. That can be fun. It can be well done. It can be interesting. It can be unique. It can be a good story, and this is just kind of not. It's okay. Like the Black Man himself is interesting. Like they always kind of like strike me as a sort of goofy character, and it's now it's dark and grim, and you learn why he's being grim and dark, and nothing really else happens. It's just not now it happens in it, and I'm not gonna follow along. It didn't hook me enough. Sorry. Hook, get fish, hook, hit like. Oh, I'm tired, people. All right, Defenders number 2. This one's gonna get another issue 3 out of me, but just barely. Barely. Javier Rodriguez's art is cool and weird and trippy and fun and bright and like I liked it quite a bit. I like the Silver Surfer moment in here quite a bit, but there's also like other characters where you're like, what in the absolute hell's going on? And like they seem like their motivations and their characterization has shifted from issue 1 to issue 2 without really any explanation. And then this character here, I don't even know who the hell this is. It's just weirdly chipper throughout a giant crisis, and it's just bizarre, and not necessarily good bizarre. There are enough like funky ideas in here, and it's like a big grand galactic. Get it, galactic mother of galactic. There's a big grand galactic threat that's interesting enough that I'm going to give it one more issue, and we will see. But this issue, I liked it a lot less than the first issue. All right, Dead Box number 1. This is probably the one and done for me. I might trade paperback it, maybe. Okay, Redbox. Remember Redbox? Do you know what a Redbox is? They're outside grocery stores around here. You can go and check out a DVD. A DVD is a thing that you used to watch movies on. Kind of like a VHS. A VHS is the thing that came before a DVD. It doesn't matter. You rent movies, you have to return them to Redbox. This is a weird play on it. It's probably not going to age very well, and it's supposed to be a horror. This character, this cover kind of implies horror, and it's being described as like a horror series, but it's not very horrific. I mean, it's not pleasant necessarily, but the movie that the main character rents isn't a horror movie, and like the big quote unquote reveal at the end isn't really very shocking. It's kind of okay, and yeah, it's just I don't know, it's not that great. I think it reminded me of there's a really old show called Friday the 13th, the series, and it's where people would check out like relics from the shop, and like these characters had to get them back. It's not a new trope. It's been in a bunch of different shit. And I got a feeling that's kind of what's going to happen here, but I don't care. It's didn't get me enough. All right. I like this cover. One of my favorite covers of the week. It's got Ambush Bug on it, but it's also Ambush Bug turns out annoys the hell out of me. He's the first fourth wall comedy quote unquote character from DC. Not funny. Not funny in this issue. I don't know why Robbie Thompson, or I can't remember the first name of the writer, but I don't know why I think it's Robbie. It might be, but I don't care. I don't know why they introduced him. I don't know. They could have told a story probably better without this character in here. And I'm still going to follow along for this with the Suicide Squad for at least a little while longer. But this issue kind of annoyed me. It really did. And like comedy's harder than drama, and I really truly believe that, and I think it can fall flat, and I think it just fell flat here. Speaking of falling flat and limping your way to an ending, well, I wasn't speaking about limping my way to an ending, but Eve number 5. Oh boy, okay, this series, it went like had a kind of first issue, interesting, second, interesting, third, fourth, fifth, like it. This disappointed the heck out of me. Like I still think the art is great, and I think the premise was interesting enough, but like it limped its way to the finish line on this one, and I don't know. Like I don't want to get into a whole lot more of it. I didn't like it a lot. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. I won't, I'll fight you down there. But whatever. Crush and Lobo number 4, whatever. This should just be called Crush. But nobody buy it called Crush. I think they added Lobo just to sell some books. I like this one. The Crush character is an interesting character to me. Lobo's daughter, I don't know a ton about her. Didn't read any of the Teen Titans issues she was in. I just kind of picked this up on a whim when it was first issue, and it hooked me enough to keep going. And this still has me hooked enough to keep going. She's dealing with a lot of father issues and stuff, with Lobo being a father. That's not surprising. And Tamaki's telling a fun tale. And the Crush character, the character of Crush and the dilemma are enough that like it's an entertaining space operatic romp with prisons and bugs that like to eat people and counseling and therapy and, father issues. All right, last flight out, number 1. This book had a very interesting idea. You ever see the movie WALL-E? Okay, in that movie, humans wrecked Earth and have to leave. That's this. Except for, like, this is them all loading onto the spaceships, and this is the last ship out. And there's no WALL-E picking through garbage. But other than that, same idea. This is the creator of the thing, a kind of sort of character that's like, what's his face? Elon Musk. And ignores everything around him and has to deal with the consequences and has to deal with an estranged daughter. And, time is running out. So, enough. I'll read the second issue. The art is okay. There's a 2-page spread in here of that I really like of the big old spaceship. And it's an interesting choice. It hooked me enough that it'll get one more out of me. You could probably wait for a trade paperback for this one. It's not bad, though. Really not. It's not fantastic, but it's not horrible. Like a fine plus, maybe. Daredevil number 34. Not my favorite Daredevil issue. It's not awful. I know a lot of other reviewers that really like this week, and I didn't hate it. It's just kind of, it's wrapping up the prison A plot with Matt Murdock in jail, and it wrapped it up in a bizarre way. Bizarre. And kind of contrived and not really fantastic. I like Zdarsky's writing, and I like the Elektra plot better, and I still like the Elektra plot better. I think they're all going to converge in the next one, and then I got a feeling Zdarsky's going to be off this book pretty soon. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but it kind of just has that feel to me. There's the plot with Elektra and Bullseyes and stuff that's much more interesting to me. The Matt Murdock character, once you got to jail, I was like, I don't know. And then it's just kind of just been, strange. And a strange way to wrap it up. And I get why he wrapped it up that way. It's just kind of, I kind of hate the trope of evil bad guys and drugs everywhere. Mind-altering drugs. Mind-altering... Speaking of mind-altering drugs, I'm going to segue. Not really, because there's not really any in here. But Suicide Squad, get Joker. Number 2. I think there's only 3 of these. I wish it was a regular size issue. These big books kind of bug me because you can't bag them, and they're loose and floppy, and they get all over the place. I'm for the most part, I like that they really emphasize the cover. I like you get the gloss, you get the prestige, square bound format, and lets the art really sing, and the art really does sing. Alex Believe does great artwork in here, and I like his grim and gritty style. It fits this story very well, and I actually like Brian Azzarello's story well enough too. I don't want to spoil anything. I haven't read the first one, so there's a reason they're all after the Joker, and they're all terrified of the Joker for good reason in this one too. And Azzarello writes a really creepy Joker, and he writes. Like the characters in here, they don't all get the same amount of focus, which is fine. It's a Suicide Squad. Half of them are probably going to die anyways. It's the nature of the Suicide Squad. But I like his take on Red Hood, which I don't give a rat's ass about. I liked his Harley, which I also am hit or miss on, and then Wild Dog I didn't like, but I realized why you didn't like Wild Dog. So I'm enjoying this one. I recommend it. You can probably wait for a trade on it though. Because these prestige things are a ton of money. They're like $7 just for this issue. So save your money. Get it in a trade. 6 sidekicks and Trevor Keaton. Number 4. Okay, if you've not been waiting for this one and another one, you can probably wait on for trade. Kyle Starks and Chris Schweitzer. Chris Schweitzer's art is not going to be for everybody. It's very... his line quality, very monotonous. Like, you can look, there's not any line variation in thickness, not any variation in depth on any of it. The inking is all done with what looks like a marker or like a computer-generated, single thickness. Maybe there is actually some, but I looked computer. I would bet money he did this on a computer, and or they, I'm not sure. And the art takes some getting used to. The story is fun though. It's and not to spoil a whole lot, but Trigger Keaton basically is a 80s movie. I'm saying, we're going 80s. 80s action TV hero that had sidekicks, because as one would in the 80s. And the sidekicks are all trying to figure out who killed Trigger Keaton, which is not easy to do because Trigger Keaton was a jackass. And goes into the jackassery. And they're also not really very good at trying to figure out who killed him. So you just deal with all these sidekicks of Trigger Keaton getting together and having a delightfully fun adventure with a talking car and martial arts and gangs of stuntmen gangs. Pick it up. It's fun. Swamp Thing number 7. I am a little sick of Suicide Squad. I like the movie. I like the characters. I've read 2 of the books. This is the 3rd Suicide Squad thing this week. I could not get the annual because I don't think my comic shop had it, and I don't care enough. This is Rom V, and I'm pretty sure it feels like the Suicide Sword is sort of forced on him, as far as like you have to use it because the character's in the movie, and you have to use Peacemaker, whatever the hell his name is. I don't do whatever. You have to use John Cena. John Cena. You have to use him in this comic, and Rom V does, and he uses that as a tricky way to give the backstory of the main character that is a new Swamp Thing. Not the origin necessarily, not the origin of how the character became Swamp Thing, but the backstory and the reasoning and the motivations. And it's a very Rom V kind of thing. It's a parable, a fable. There's the nature. There's a story within a story, and the reasoning, and it feels like a very Rom V book in a good way. He managed to cope with the Suicide Squad being in his book and still tell, I think, a story he wanted to tell. And so I really have been liking the Swamp Thing run. The art is by Perkins is very solid, and the I think inking is by Spicer. Maybe it's coloring. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Swamp Thing's great. You should read it so they can write more of it. Unbelievable Unteens number 2. This is Jeff Lemire and Tyler Crook. There's a couple of Jeff Lemire books in this stack this week. This is from the world of Black Hammer. Black Hammer is a superhero universe that Jeff created with Dean Ormstrand. Dean's not part of this series, but it's sort of like Jeff's playground for superheroes. He has his own world, and he can tell his own tales and pay homage to Golden and Silver Age stuff and things you can tell he just really likes and has a passion for. And this is sort of the Unteens are sort of the Doom Patrol or X-Men in this universe, and a lot of parallels to both. And there's a comic within a comic in this one as well. The art is fantastic. The story itself is fun and interesting, and you could pick it up. You probably pick up the first issue of the Unteens for cover price or less and catch up very quickly. The nice thing about these Black Hammer books is you don't need to read the main Black Hammer series in order to get what's going on in this one. It's pretty self-contained as far as this mini goes. So liked it a lot. I like Tyler Cook's art quite a bit as well. It's just styled in 2 different styles. There's an old comic within a comic, Silver Age stuff, which is flat and fake duotoned and half-toned and all that, kind of great. And then the painted stuff, I really like his painted work. So, yeah. Next, Not Tall Robots. No Tall Robots. Not All Robots number 2. Humans wreck the planet and can't do anything for themselves. And, WALL-E, where robots serve their human masters for everything. That's this book. Except for in this book. It's a little different than the other one. The robots, they're disgruntled. And one of them kind of wiped out Orlando. Whoopsie. And it's a satire. And it's poking fun at humanity and the laziness. And not just laziness of humanity, but there's also just poking fun at a lot of things. And I really like this. Mike Diodado's art's a little stiff. I like his art, but it's also, you can tell he uses photo reference for quite a bit. And the robot characters themselves, I looked like they're all from the movie Chappie, which is not a great movie, but it had great robot design. I like this one quite a bit. It's not going to be for everybody. If you want your comics without message, I don't know what to tell you. They don't exist, first of all, but there's people that seem to get all butthurt when, somebody calls them out on their shit. And this is a lot of the satire calls you out on your shit. And this book is calling you out on people's shit. So I liked it. Not All Robots, number 2. And I'm speeding through these because, again, it was my second time recording this, and I'm just tired. So it is what it is. Mama number 3, Sas Village, doing all the heavy lifting on this. I think doing the lettering even as well, but I'm for sure the writing and the art. And this is technically a young adult or a kid's book, but it's great. I mean, any other week it probably could be the book of the week, and it still even could be this week. I am really liking Mamo. It's a story of a witch distrusted by the village and being now forced to help this village that doesn't love her, and this girl that's also trying to help, but this girl's not the girl goes to the witch for help, but this girl's not like a naive, helpless character. And there's bonding, there's friendship, there's some pretty interesting witchcraft and stuff in here, and a pretty great little tale so far. It's my favorite issue thus far, and if you've watched any of the others, I really enjoyed the first 2. So This series is a rare one where every issue I'm kind of like, it's kind of been going this, and that's rare. I mean, I really hope this sticks the landing. I think it probably will. I think this Sas Village, Village, I don't know, whatever. Pronouncing words, names is hard. It has a vision, and I'm liking this vision thus far, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. I don't know if there's one or two left of these. I know you can sort of sense it's a finite story, but I don't recall how many. So, Mamo, pick it up. No. Nice House on the Lake, number 4. I really like this one as well. This is my favorite issue thus far. It deepens the mystery of the nice house on the lake that James Tiny Onion the Fourth is telling. And a lot of dialogue, a lot of lists, a lot of Tiny Onion stuff in here. But it works in this issue. Sometimes when he does it, it doesn't. There's other comics that he's written there. I'm like, just tell the goddamn story. You don't need another page of crap. But there's a couple pages of crap in here that they're light, they're fast, and they add to it. And the main character, each issue has been focusing on a different main character. This main character comes across as a little bit of a jerk at first, but you kind of learn as you go along. It's not necessarily the case. And the mystery is deepening as far as what's going on in this nice house. And it's got me hooked. I really now I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And I'm along for this. I think you can, if you've not gotten it thus far. I think they're going a hiatus after 6, but I really hope they finish because James Tynion is not part of that Substack thing and got a boatload of money to go write comics that I digitally. I don't know. I'm not subscribed to Substack. If anybody is, let's talk. Hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram's down below or something. I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are and stuff, and I'd like to maybe have a discussion about it. But anyways, back to this. Pick it up. The Me You Love in the Dark, number 2, Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Yeah, this is fantastic. An artist that can't get inspired, has lost her inspiration, moves to a house that turns out to be haunted. That's kind of it. I mean, that's the synopsis of it without giving a whole lot of spoilers. And but it's just a touching kind of little funny, weird horror-ish story, but it's not that horrific. And it's not. I mean, honestly, not much happens in this issue. Really, not a ton happens, but it's told deftly. It's got a delicate touch, and the art fits it. I wasn't sold on the art at first, but the way Jorge really exaggerates the facial features of the characters and stuff really works. And it's a really great little story thus far. I don't know how many. I think there's 5 issues of this. Maybe not. I don't know. Again, I don't research these things. I don't I just pick it up and I pick up issue 1, and if I like it, I pick up issue 2, and thus far, it's everyone has to earn their keep every month, and this one is probably going to skip that earning their keep and go right to my pull list for good because I'm liking it quite a bit. I like Scotty Young as a writer, surprisingly. Well, I need to pick up some of the other stuff. I've not read Middle West or I Hate Fairyland, and I need to probably get both of those. So maybe those will make my weekly trade paperback at some point. Finally, my book of the week. For the second time, not the second time, but the second recording of this. Maze book number 1 by Jeff Lemire. This book is not going to be for everybody. Jeff Lemire's art is not for everybody. He's got a very loose style that I really enjoy. I like his characters and I like his facial expressions. I really like the weird little way he draws ears. And I like that he's inking himself. There's painting in here. It's all him. And it's 48 pages or so, but it does not feel like it because he gives this story, even though it's a story about being trapped, we'll touch on that in a second, what the story's about, but he gives the art room to breathe, and it's really kind of nice. And it's let's see here, I just gotta, there's a splash page of a line and watercolor, but it makes sense in the story, and that's the center splash page. It's and there's he's flexing his art stuff, and he's not being rushed by this one. I don't know how many. I think there's only 5 issues, but again, I think everything's 5 issues nowadays because I don't really research. But it's a painful tale. It's sad. It hits you in the feelings, and I don't think every book needs to. But I think when done well, comics can really punch you in the gut, and I think that this one punched me in the gut. There's a gentleman that it's a 50-year-old man that's trapped in the mundane maze of life. And going through the motions every day, repeating things, and just living the same life and the same boring job and the same thing. And he's lost his daughter who was 11 years old, and like there's a sense of sorrow and the sense of like the world weighing down on him. You can just sort of you really feel it in this book, and like the fact that hope is like long gone out of this person's life, and then you get a revelation at the end that it like maybe there's a glimmer, but it's also I don't know. I don't know where this one's headed. I'm not sure it'll be a happy book because this issue certainly not happy. But I don't think every book should be happy. I think like some books should just punch you in the balls or the gut or wherever you want to be punched. Just take a good punch and don't be a dick about it. I'm along for whatever Lemire writes. He's earned his keep with me and he's earned a pass. Like so, I will pick up everything. But this, I'm like quite a bit. And it's my book of the week. So, let me know what you think. And I'm gonna get out of here. I do have another video I made on earlier this week. Batman, A Death in the Family. If you go watch that, you can win that book. It's not a great book, but you can win it if you're in the U.S. So watch that video, find out how to win it. Like, subscribe, please. It helps. Hit the thumbs up if you really want. I don't know, whatever. That's the like. That's the same damn thing. Doesn't matter. Subscribe. I'm going to give away some stuff at 1,000, and I can hopefully start doing more fun stuff when this channel hits 1,000. So we will see. And it's going to be a long ways off. Long ways. That's all I got. Even if you're trapped in your boring, old, mundane life, don't be a dick about it.